Okay. So therefore, we have ahamkara, buddhi, and manas that makes up this. Now, where is the little dot? The dot is not ahamkara. The dot is not buddhi, and the dot is not manas. It's beyond these three. Okay. Even these three, when we say ahamkara, buddhi, and manas, it's still pertaining to the material, the matters, what is called nature. So in the ancient Indian philosophical system, even modern day school, they all trace its roots back to Sankhya. Sankhya school. Okay, 叫数论宗. We call it, in English, you call it enumeration. So you enumerate 25 principles of truth about cosmology, about, the existence of human beings, the soul, for example. And of the 25, one is called Purusha, which is pure consciousness. This is the soul. Okay. And the other one is called Prakriti. These are the big two. It's like yin yang in the Chinese I Ching. Prakriti. Prakriti is the matter of nature. So this is, I say Purusha is soul, pure consciousness. So pure consciousness is not mind. Mind is the thinking process, right? Soul is beyond the mind. Okay, Prakriti is matter or nature. So what's nature? What's the rhythm of nature, law of nature? That's what we're talking about. Nature involves elements, matters, such as earth, water, fire, space, etc. This kind of elements, this part of nature elements. So there's certain rhythms or laws of nature. That's all about Prakriti. So, of the 25, one is Purusha, one is Prakriti. And what about the remaining, minus 2, remaining 33 here. You should write this way, 20, 23. Okay, they're all talking about Prakriti, the 23 things. We won't go into that, okay? But basically, okay, ahamkara, buddhi, and manas, these three are all about nature, about Prakriti. It's nothing about the soul, because the soul is not describable. It's something you cannot really say what is. It's beyond our thoughts, our logical thoughts. It's beyond our, material images and phenomena. Okay, we call that the source. You can think of the soul as the origin. So, in Buddhism, we have a terminology called original face, right? 本来面目, origin. Or you can call it the source of all everything, okay, where everything begins. Okay. And that's indescribable. So after that, then you have nature. And then when there's a formation of ahamkara, nature is about matter, remember? And formation of ahamkara means now I have a beginning of a sense of self. That sense of self is what we mean by ego. That sense of self, therefore, I start to think of a mind, mental processing going on. And therefore, there's a certain intelligence, how I discern things. So these three things, the trinities that makes I am, okay? So on, in the sense, is include all this. And this little dot is the Purusha. Little dot here, that's the soul. Okay, this is one way to understand about Om. So when we do, meditation, we chant the mantra syllable. Om is a deep meanings, in this, and that's why you're meditating on the meaning of the Om. Okay, is that kind of with this kind of understanding, and when you say Om, even silently, it does something. Okay, in the natural world, the vibration of the sound, okay, continually expanding, continually contracting, expand, contract, and M, and maintaining that. Okay, so it's like a circle. When we continue to expand our world, okay, let's say this is expanding our world, that is R. All right. Now if we were to continue, say, contract, that give you, ooh, right? So this thing pauses, pausing. If you maintain the balance in between the expansion contraction, what do you have is and nasalized mom. Okay, so this three stage is like a curve. Right? When we say we'll put a curve, right? If the top is, let's say, is R, and let's say the bottom is U, then keeping it in between, right? That's the M, maintaining the circle. Okay, this is just a different way to look at the space, right? You just kind of three-dimensional space. You look at it from different angles. Just think of this a profile projection of this, this zero. Okay, so zero, all three together originate from this zero. Okay, so in Chinese, you have this things, right? Even in Chinese, when you write this, right, you write 1, 2, 3. Three things coming together. Okay, this is big in Chinese means like big elements. Now big elements, then you ultimately then you have 5. Yeah, add two more to over here. Okay, and this at the bottom here just extra bits. We don't want to go into too much of that because this should be extended up here. Okay, like that. Okay, but let's just give you some ideas. Okay, now here's a little bit more, right, than just what we have covered so far. All right, this is another way to look at it. In the I Ching, traditions, like 一贯道的说法，理气象3天。Okay, not necessarily in that order. Excuse me. Okay, let me do this first. Let me explain this first. So, okay, AUM, right? We take it RUM, right? And let me explain this first. So what happens is, they say you take here's a wall. You take a ball, you throw at the wall, it hits the wall. What happened? It's gonna bounce back, correct? Now, if let's say this ball is so strong, it's like a drill. You'll penetrate the wall, and it's gonna continue through and break the wall down, right? So the two, when you throw the wall, you cast the wall. I mean, throw the ball, you cast the ball to the wall. There's two actions, right? One, it could be bouncing back. The other one, it could break the wall and keep going, right? If it's not just a ball that bounces off the wall, it could be a drill that penetrates the wall, right? But at the same time, okay, you can understand this. At the same time, there's also this effect, okay? When you saw the ball at the wall, it bounced, right? There's a sound, boom. And what the sound travel like this? No, the sound travel like this, right? But at the same time, there's a vibration that hits the wall. Let's say if the wall is not that strong, okay, you don't see it, but there's a wave pattern that penetrates through the wall or pass through the wall and gradually dissipate. So the bounce also goes like this, right? Penetrates through the wall. This is a wave pattern, right? It's the same as when we say light. When the sunlight hits an object, okay, it penetrates the object at the same time it's bounced back. So it has what is called particle, like a dot, a zero, okay, and a wave patterns. So there could be a particle action, right? Like bounce the ball go bounce around. That's a particle action. And there's a wave action, the wave that passes on the vibration of that object that passes on. So it become so we often depict it by half a circle or crescent moon with the center points of the circle. Consider this the center point of the circle. I'm clean this up a little bit. All right. All right. Center point of the circle. Okay. And that's what this top part is. Okay, so what about this three? This three is exactly this here three. There's one, and there's two, and there's a three right there. And that's the number three. Yes, the Arabic Roman number three. That's what, that has its origin. The original source is the same. Okay. So it's basically saying, everything that we can see in a Trinity, okay, it has, it all has its origins from this. All right. Outside of this curve, right, this origin is way beyond, it's going beyond the three things. Okay. So when we say the three curve, right, then, with this kind of a particle and wave action, then you actually have four different phenomena. Okay, four different phenomena, right? One, two, three, and four, like that. Okay. Just bear with me, right? So we're talking about natural law principle. So it may sound a little bit abstract, but meditation is all based on this. Yoga practice is all based on these principles or theories. Okay. Now we're coming back to this. Okay. So then what this is beyond that we have no word for that. We often call the absolute. So it's not relative. Now, below the absolute, right? Relatively speaking, now it's below the absolute. We have the Trinity. Okay, so this all relative. Okay, relativity. Okay, so therefore, we cannot really talk about what's absolute, right? This is like a very abstract. So no word for it, so it's abstract. But we can talk about what's relative. Relative, now you have concept. Okay, you can conceptualize, you can put words to it, describe a little bit about it. Okay, so in the Chinese tradition, right? Oh, wait a minute, I keep jumping too far here. We have names for this, right? But in a way, you can say, then what's the relative concept here? Okay, there's a, we're gonna erase this so you don't get too confused. Yes, just like a ROM, right, has three concepts to this. Okay. We call that like your physical body, right? Right. Let's say your energetic body, or rather your mental body. All right, let's see here. I say your mental body. So it's pertaining to the mind, right? This pertaining to the body, this pertaining to the mind. And then what is called your causal body. Okay. Now, different way to describe it. You can say, causal, right? You can mental is like a more subtle, right? It's a relative concept, remember. So it's relatively speaking subtle than the physical. So physical is gross, right? Gross means, denser, denser than the subtle, so relatively speaking. The causal is where they all trace back to, right? But causal is still a relative concept. It's not an abstract. It's not an absolute abstract, okay? So you can say, oh, causal, okay, causal, right? Causal, subtle, gross, right? So the three here is the same. It's saying that there's three spheres or dimensions, if you want to call it. I call it sphere. Sphere make more sense for me. Okay, but synonymous as if you want to call it dimension. The causal dimensional sphere, subtle sphere, or gross sphere. Okay, so we have body, mind, and the cause of our existence must be the soul, but the soul is indescribable. So we say, something we can relate to in the relative concept, we call the causal. Okay, so in the Chinese tradition, what do we call this? We call this Li. Li, rather romanization. Qi. qi and xiang. Xiang. Okay. This just different terminology, but they're talking about the same thing. So how do you translate Li? It's principle. Li means principle, right? Principle, right? Qi, qi. Today people will think, oh, qi gong, breathing air, vital energy. Well, it's vitality. Really, it should be called vitality. And what's xiang? Image, right? Firmament formation, image formation or formation. Okay, for formation, let me spell, right? Or firmament. Okay, firmament. So these are the three relative concepts of natural existence. So whether you're talking about Li, Qi, or Xiang, it's all pertaining to what? A relative concept. Okay, it's not beyond it's not going beyond the Trinity. It's not about the absolute abstract. Because the absolute abstracts, you don't have really words to describe what that is, because it's beyond the intellect, beyond our thoughts, beyond our logics, beyond our sensory perceptions. So the closest we can relate to is the three Trinities. Okay, the following certain principle, the rhythm, shows the existence of the absolute abstract. Through that, then we gain vitalities, right? So they say, if someone has no mental spheres in this living human being, where is the vitality? It's just what we call a walking corpse, right? Right? But it, it, the body may still live because there's a causal reasoning to this. Okay, and someone without the physical forms, where's the vitality going to reside? It doesn't. So the qi moves on. Okay, because the xiang doesn't hold the qi anymore, so the person is no longer there. Okay, so it's a trinity existence. So a living human being has all three spheres. Okay, this sphere is not somewhere else that you go search for. It's all you within you. Okay, the whole universe, the whole cosmos within you. So this is the mantra Om.